Hi, welcome to Rick Snider's Washington on YouTube, where you get the whole story. So please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks. I thought today just a little nostalgia. I've lived in Washington, D.C. since I was born in 1960, so that makes me old. But it also makes me able to think about old Washington. And to me, there's a couple of different timelines of old Washington, pre-pandemic to you newcomers. 9/11, I think, changed so much in the city on there. And then the 60s and 70s, when the 60s especially, when all hell broke loose in this town, it seemed all the time, with demonstrations on whatever you want to pick. And I thought today, when I drive around Washington, as one of the old elders, I guess, of town, I think, what do I miss about it the most? Number one, I miss just walking in a building without emptying everything in my pockets and taking off my belt. You used to be able to go into any place in town and just walk in. I mean, any government building, I'm not, much less any place else, and I really miss that. I miss the freedom of going in and out. If you wanted to go see the White House, you just got in line, it wasn't a big deal about anything. Today, everything's a big damn deal. And I do get tired of that. Traffic over the years in Washington it gets better and worse over the years. It just flows. And it was really bad, in recent years, and then the pandemic kind of shut things down, and you could drive 90 miles an hour around the Beltway if you want, which some people still try to do. But, I used to have two friends when they first finished the Beltway, I guess in the 60s. They used to race around the Beltway, and they could get around it in about 45 minutes. That was kind of reckless and crazy, but that's what it was like back then. Not everything was a big traffic jam everywhere you go. You didn't have to plan for an extra half an hour to go anywhere. So, I sound like a cranky old man, aren't I? All right, parking was free on weekends, not just Sundays, but Saturdays too. But government wanted more of our money. And hey, National Park Service figured it out too a couple years ago. And now they charge for parking that was free every day. And just another way to reach into our pockets. And I definitely miss the days when you didn't have all these red light cameras and speed cameras and all this stuff going on just designed to take money from us. Oh, it's about public safety. Really? So when they put in all these cameras, they said it's for school safety, protect the children. You got to protect the children or you're a monster. I mean, how many speed cameras do you see in your schools? Zippo. How many do you see on the edge of town grabbing people coming in and out? All over the place. It's not about schools. It's just another lie that they told. I used to be able to drive across the Lincoln Memorial, in the plaza there and go from Independence to Constitution, whatever. You could drive right across it until the 90s. And you could drive across the Capitol also that way on the east side and just drive across. And now, you'd be arrested for doing such a thing if you could even get near it, which you can't on there. Just walking into the zoo. I mean, right now, there's time tickets, so, that's a pandemic thing. That'll eventually go away. But it used to be free to park there and all. It's no longer that. But now it's not easy just to walk into the zoo. Jeez, what is going on? Washington Monument, same thing. Want to go up to the top, just get in line. Now you got to have tickets. That's not even a pandemic thing. In the Smithsonian's, they've got tickets right now, but that'll eventually go away too. But you used to be able, you still can walk into the Smithsonian's without a big deal. But springtime, man, tourists are everywhere. I used to really hate the tourists because they're always in the way. And then I got into the tourism business, and now I love tourists. But right now, they're not really around again this year. It's another bad year for tourism in town. What else is there? Well, Washington used to be a southern city, and I say Washington, that's an old Washington accent on there. Your family had to be here for many generations to do that. And don't start with me about it's a PG accent or something. We argue this stuff all the time. But, it used to be a southern city, and now it's such an international city. 1 out of every 5 people in this town were born in another country. 5% of the city has become transplanted New Yorkers. That's mostly a 9/11 thing that happened when they all came down after that. So it's really become a little bit of everybody, and you don't hear the southern accents as much in the city. Over in Alexandria, you might hear it a little more. But I kind of miss the southern charm of such things. And I miss just being able to buy tickets and go to events. Now, now that we're emerging from the pandemic, we're going to go back to, like, the Eagles are coming. Good luck trying to get tickets to that. Everything you want to go is just a big deal, So I miss those kind of things. I miss just having the freedom to be around our town without either cameras watching you or security harassing you, or there's no place to park. All these things. You know, my mother tells a story. I was born in July, and she and my dad went to the fireworks downtown. And she was near due date, so she took her bag just in case, the fireworks led to me. And, she said they just parked on the curb on Constitution Avenue, got out with a blanket, watched fireworks, got back in the car and took off. And I came along, not long after. You can't do any of that stuff now. There's security perimeters and searches, and can't even get your car down near there anymore. The city's growth has been pretty big since 9/11. We've gone about 400,000 to 700,000 in this city. So the pains of growth, are visited upon us. I know most of you who watch this haven't lived here that long, because that's the nature of the city. People come and go. They stay here a few years. They get tired of the high cost of living here or the traffic, and finally just go back. And some of that's political in nature, where we change politicians here. But a lot of it is just people get tired of it and they go back somewhere else. So I know a lot of you haven't seen this, and I thought about it one day. I'm probably like in the top 10% of people who lived here the longest. And I'm looking still halfway young for my age, thank you. Anyway, that's Rick Snider's Worst, and I just thought I'd talk a little bit about the old days for once. And so, thanks for coming. I hope to see you again soon.